we see that as the first step in the direction of our future growth. Our oldest borrower today was a 92-year-old lady looking to buy and we see the opportunity in the billions.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Tech Times exclusive interview. Today, we're talking to Leon Diamond, the CEO of LIVEMORE. And LIVEMORE is a fintech lender that's focused on the over 50s market. So, Leon, thank you very much for joining us today.
Chris, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be on.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to learn about this and to learn about LIVEMORE. So if you could please just jump straight in and tell us about LIVEMORE and the services you provide.
Certainly. So LIVEMORE's on a mission within the UK and then looking to move into Europe to be the over 50s mortgage lender of choice. And within the UK especially, there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of people who deserve to live the life they have, but either by financial constraints or changes in lifestyle can't get a mortgage. And so we're here to change that, mix things up and offer people a great solution, which will allow them to live a better life.
Okay. So I understand that you secured some funding from NatWest. How big is that in LIVEMORE's mission?
Yeah, certainly. We see that as the first step in the direction of our future growth. And NatWest have been a great partner to date. They've bought into our vision of being the over 50s lender. They see the opportunity as well, being an underserved market. And whilst they can't lend specifically to this type of market, they have been able to give us funds in the range of about $370 million US to look to help to lend out and boost our mortgage lending. So NatWest have combined, NatWest Markets have combined $370 million with our funding, which sits at a bit over 50 million. And so we have firepower of about 420 million to date to go out to market. So it's a step in the right direction. And to date, they've been a great partner.
Oh, fantastic. So maybe you could break it down for us a little more as to exactly what service you are providing to the 50s plus, I'm thinking, the 50s plus markets.
Yeah, it is the 50s plus. And actually our oldest borrower to date was a 92-year-old lady looking to buy. She was looking to downsize. So she had a house, children had moved out, and she was looking to buy an apartment.
Oh, wow.
And she was looking to take some money off the table and get a mortgage. So we're very proud of that, our oldest borrower being 92 years old. So the service that we're looking to provide, which is really underserved in the UK, and it's quite different. The United Kingdom's quite different to, let's say, the US or other areas or other countries, is it's very difficult when you're over 50 if you don't meet a certain square box, which is a high street bank's criteria to get a mortgage. And we're looking to fulfill that need. And to date, we've been doing that, and we see the opportunity in the billions. There are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who do need a mortgage, not only need a mortgage or may want a mortgage for financial or lifestyling needs.
Okay, I see. So would it be safe to say that, people are living longer, people are active, much further into life than compared to, decades ago? Is it safe to say that we have evolved and become better while maybe banking and lending has not been able to keep up?
I think you're spot on, Chris, and that's what we've seen, especially with the high street banks. Part of that is based on previous regulation. Part of that is based on where you've seen old credit policy and lending policies not keep up with lifestyle. And lifestyle, as you touched on, are people are living longer, living healthier. They're working during retirement quite often. And about 35% of our borrower base actually have part-time jobs or working past the retirement age, which is becoming more and more common. So we very much see the opportunity whereby we understand someone who is moving at different life stages from 50 onwards, pre-retirement, into later life, and understand those life stages where banks currently don't understand that, or other specialist lenders.
Right, I see. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of our viewers can relate. You know, it's 40 and 50. You know, and it's used a lot. You know, 40 is the new 30, and 50 is the new 40. But I mean, it's honest to God, it's true. You know, like these 60-year-olds are not the 60-year-old people that I knew when I was a child. You know, now they're like, they're just these people that want to do things, and they do retire, and maybe they want to move to a nicer place and things like that. So I guess my question is, how do you help these people that retirement is supposed to be, I think, is designed to be the life-changing moment where you accomplished and now you're exhaling. It's like, okay, now the golden years or whatever. So how is LiveMore maybe facilitating this transition that's so important to so many people?
Yeah, certainly. And I think you touched on a really good point early on, which was there's a market which people especially within the technology space, are focusing on the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. And that is especially in the mortgage lending and finance markets, people are throwing money at this the 20 and 30-year-olds. But to us, where we see a strong opportunity and underserved are people who have built up long-term credit history. They've paid taxes. They've gone through economic cycles. And so they have a really strong data profile that we can quantify through our data model. And we can lend to them on a basis of understanding what their needs are. And yet that's not done in the market today. And so we will have, as an example, someone who is in their 50s come to us, and we've built a affordability model, which is a key USP of ours, that understands their assets and liabilities, not only today, but then takes into account their pension and their longevity. And we can model out their credit worthiness. That allows us to lend to people where others won't. And to us, they're a great customer. They're strong credit risk. And it's because of our understanding of that customer through their life journey that we see them as great and good credit risk for us as mortgage lenders.
Right. Well,
and
yeah,
so
I feel like LiveMore is actually giving these people, that, you talk about credit history and data analysis, over, basically, decades of, work history and credit history and, all these things. It's almost like a reward for these people, that's really done the right thing. Whereas before, you do the right thing for 50 years and then all of a sudden you're kind of,
Look, I very much agree. You should be rewarded for the hard work and effort that you've put in. And I would say historically, society used to reward people with that. But I feel like over the last 30 years, that's taken away. And what we're coming off the back of low interest rates. Typically, we've seen house price inflation and asset prices rise. But yet these people are coming to the end of their mortgage or are looking to take money out of their house and have little options. And those options that they're offered today aren't the best for customer outcome. They're great for the intermediaries who sell them, such as reversion plans, etc., but they aren't great for the customer. What we do is we provide a choice of product for the customer to pick what they want and put the control back into the customer based on their affordability.
Okay. So during my research, I came up on a term that I'm not familiar with, which I guess may be a good thing. Maybe it means I'm not one of these, but it's the mortgage prisoner. Could you maybe give a little explanation to myself as well as the viewers who may not be completely aware?
Yeah, certainly. So this is a common used quite a bit in the UK, United Kingdom press, and I really don't like the term, but it's used quite widely. And a mortgage prisoner has come about for a couple of reasons. One is past regulation. So in the late 1990s and early 2000, what we saw were interest-only mortgages being offered to people typically in their 30s and 40s. And those mortgages that were offered had a short-term fixed rate. So i.e. the interest rate was fixed for only a 2 or 5 year period, which is quite different to the US markets where you can get a fixed rate for 30 years. But then had what was a floating rate, the revert rate, went up, as you do in the US quite often, for another 20 or 30 years. So these mortgages that were sold in the 90s and 2000s were interest only, and are now 20 years on coming up for expiry. What you see is, and what do I mean by expiry? This is when the mortgage contract ends. So quite often, these people are sitting and paying higher interest rates than they should be. Typically, in the UK, what is sitting at 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7%. And because of their age, have nowhere to move. So they're faced with paying down their mortgage in full. And they may not want to do that because they need savings to live off, or selling their house. What we are able to do at LIVEMORE is understand that customer's journey through data. And basically what we look to do is we extend their mortgage, and typically these people are over 50, to have no end date, so they never have to remortgage again. And we can put them on a fixed rate, and we offer a number of different products. So we can offer them a 5-year fix all the way up to fix for life. So actually in a high interest rate environment, you could get someone who fixes their mortgage at 55 and can live to 105 and never have to remortgage again, because it's a fixed rate mortgage. Now, coming back to what we do, there's about 50,000 mortgage prisoners in the UK who don't qualify for a current mortgage to move and are sitting there coming up to term end, the end, who are faced with either paying down their mortgage in full or selling their house. And LIVEMORE provide a solution for those 50,000 customers.
Okay. Well, good. Thank you for that. I'm sure a lot of people really appreciate that nowadays, because it's either exhaust your savings or sell the house you've lived in for 30 years, raise kids. And so it's definitely a very worthwhile, I think, endeavor for LIVEMORE. to a point, I guess, to an extent, what I'm trying to say is it's a very humane service that you're doing here, you know, because I think typical lenders maybe don't think, I'm not going to say care, but maybe don't think as much about these individuals. You know, they've worked for so long, and then just all of a sudden, it's like, okay, well, too bad. Either spend all your money or get out. That's not a great way to treat our elders.
100%. And what I would say is, we did a survey out to customers. It was a restricted survey to customers we could go out and email, who had ticked the box that we could email, and that was over 100 customers. We had back a 100% approval rating that we exceeded their expectations.
Oh.
And they would recommend a friend. So we're very proud of that, and you know, through our growth through NatWest, we will look to uphold that endeavor. And our customers are at the heart of our business, and you know, we are very motivated by some of our great customer feedback we do have.
Absolutely. Well, I think, you know, the survey that you sent out, I mean, that speaks for itself. You know, there's not much to say after that, except for how can people that want to avail of your service take advantage?
Certainly. We have a website that has both a contact telephone number as well as a short question where you can leave your name, telephone number, and we can look to get in touch with you. The more details you put in, the better. We do protect those details and don't pass them on to anyone else. And we can contact you as long as you're based in the United Kingdom. That's where we lend to at the moment. You know, in the future, we may expand into further markets, but our focus is there. We can look to get in touch with you and move forward on that basis.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, it's the link to LiveMore will obviously be in the description. So Leon, thank you very much for joining us today. It was really great to hear about the service that you're providing, and you know, I look forward to hearing from you again in the future.
Chris, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Absolutely.